Yeah, I think we are live now. So, hey guys, thank you for joining in. Hope you had a great day. Thanks for joining in again. And today we have a special invitee from United Arab Emirates, and then he will be discussing more about business aspect of the world, how a business runs, and some jargons that you'll be hearing about business thing. And there are a lot of people who are mixing up technology and business. So he will be briefly describing about how technology works, how business aspect of each and every technology, or maybe give an overview of what is that. So I think we'll be having an interactive session today, and please feel free to post the questions on the comments so that we will be answering at the last, or maybe we will take some few questions in the middle as well. So I think over to you, and then you can introduce yourself, and then you can start
Okay.
your presentation. It's up to you.
Thank you so much, Santosh, for this opportunity. I always love engaging with the bunch of students, and I think today we're going to make it pretty interesting for all the students. You know how the business is going to uh, lead in the future, since we are in the pandemic now and
Yeah.
times of crisis. But however, there are many opportunities that as businessmen or as entrepreneurs we can look at into these stuff. But before going into that particular area, I wanted to introduce myself, how I came into this field of entrepreneurship. So I'm a person who doesn't come with the background of business. You know, my father is a bureaucrat, and also my uncles are bureaucrats. So I am kind of a person who is thinking out of the box. So
Yeah.
basically, I'm a tech entrepreneur, and I'm also doing my research in AI alongside. Just to start now, just few months. Since few months, I've started doing my research in AI. However, I've been reading a lot on AI and its solutions for the past 3 years. As a professional, I'm a certified World Bank Group procurement professional. World Bank Group is basically an organization that basically funds projects in developing countries like India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, and in also a few countries in Africa, for example. Now, I was part of an organization which was an interface between World Bank and also the government of Pakistan. So we were having multiple projects related to agriculture and irrigation, which I was part of. Now, while I was in those projects, I was working. I realized there were a few challenges that need to be addressed. For example, we used to deal with dozens of contractors and subcontractors for one project, and that is because the project were about hundreds and millions of dollars. So it was a huge scope, and it was not easy to manage all the stuff. However, so I faced few challenges. One of those challenges was that the contractors that we used to deal with, they lacked the a new technology. They lack sustainable processes, and we are going towards this digital era now, and we must adopt to changes. If we do not adopt to changes, we will lag behind, and traditional methods of business do not work anymore. So what happened is I realized that these contractors are really lagging behind in technology. Now I had two options at that particular time. Either I should continue my career, and it was a job career, and I could get promoted year by year, and become a bureaucrat ultimately. But I realized one thing. If I have to add value, if I change something, I have to do something differently. So I think I believe that maybe these sustainable processes could be implemented by doing automation in the business or business processes. So what I realized that if I keep doing this job, it will take me number of years, and maybe there is so much hurdles in government, dealing with the government officials, and also with the different stakeholders of the business. So I thought, why shouldn't I jump into this entrepreneurship and give solutions myself? So I started my tech startup, and still is going on, which provides a sustainable digital solutions. So I would approach those contractors. Okay, see, we have the solutions for you, and if you do this business, if you apply this automation in your businesses, you will have not only the more efficiency, but you will also have more profits for yourself. So this is what I am now planning to do in the future. On the other hand, the reason why I jumped into the AI research, I believe that just being a businessman or having knowledge of business will not be enough. I need to get my grasp on some tech stuff as well. And Santosh, you'll be surprised to know that I'm not a tech person at all. I'm not a techie at all. In fact, I was the opposite of it, but I had to jump into this. You need to take risk if you want to see yourselves into some spot or into some position later in the coming future. Then you might need to take some risks. So I took a risk. So my family, they were against, how do you do this business and all this stuff? Nobody has done before. And you're good with this job stuff. You're making your career. I said, no, I don't want to do this. I want to add some value to what I'm doing. And I know if I get into this stuff, I have a vision in my mind. I have a long-term goal in my mind. Maybe this is not possible in the coming few years. Maybe it will take me like 5 to 10 years. But after that, I will be satisfied. Okay, at least I gave it a try. So this is all about me. Do you have anything to ask? Yes, go on, please.
So you have given a brief overview. So when it is easy for a non-techie guy to turn into tech. I think that is the difficult part that you will be facing. But in the other side, like if a tech guy wants to get into something kind of business or to understand business. So is it easy to wrap the mind around business thing, or it is easy the other way around, like being an MBA or doing something business
I
side and then
I
turning
tell
into a
you,
techie guy.
you do not need an
Okay.
MBA. You do not need any degree. You do not need any business knowledge. However, having a knowledge of
Yeah.
business would be an additive advantage. I'm not an MBA, by the way. I'm telling you, I'm an engineer myself, but not a software engineer. I am a different. I am a telecommunication engineer, and I don't know anything about software. But I got into myself into software stuff and IT stuff, and I was very poor at it. I always had bad grades in these IT and software subjects, and like 7 years ago, if you ask me, uh, you know, would you get into the software stuff? I will be like, no way, no way. I'm not kind of a person who do this. But now, I keep on reading stuff. I got into the market. I know, well, there is an opportunity I could catch into. If the business processes are not being optimized, or not being efficient, and maybe I can provide some solutions in the future. So all you need is a proper vision, patience, and a long-term goal and ambition to follow it. And then you divide that long-term goal into
Yeah.
this series of short-term goals, and then you get along with the business. Having knowledge is an additive advantage, yes, but not a necessity.
Okay. So I think that kind of clears our mind. So when you have some knowledge, right? So on business, on how it works, and you definitely, even for a techie guy or non-techie guy, you need some more knowledge on business and how it works. And even if you don't involve in financial activities of a company, you absolutely need some basic idea on what how this technology works and how the things go around. So that's great. So we have a question. So is MBA worth it? And I think that question is a difficult one to answer. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so is MBA worth it for what? Is MBA worth it for entrepreneurship, or is MBA worth it for getting a job? So you just need to be precise on your question.
Yeah, I think we have a question from our student. So I don't think that. So I think she might be asking like MBA worth it for getting a job, maybe not an entrepreneurship. Everyone knows that entrepreneur can be having an MBA, or that doesn't matter at all. But getting into a job, maybe is MBA worth it, or just having a degree on basis of maybe engineering, or BE degree will satisfy that.
So now getting an MBA is a good thing.
Okay.
But
Okay.
things are changing now. I'll tell you this. We are going towards this digital era, which will emerge a new economy known as the skill economy, which
Okay.
means that you will be recognized by your skills, not by your degrees and qualification. Speaking of
Okay.
which, I'm telling you that Google and Apple have already removed the criteria of having qualifications if you want to get a job. So if you are,
Okay.
for example, you are an ML engineer, okay, I don't care about your degree. I don't care you got graduated from Harvard. What I care, what you know, what you can do for me, what you can do for my business. That is what will get you hired. So having a skill is important.
Yeah, I think that kind of answers that. Since most people think that wasting 2 years of time in a MBA doing MBA, or another way around, you can work in a company and get to know things in the real time. So I think that is the better way to explore things and go about the business kind of aspects to that. And another question
That
frequently,
is
most people, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so now. For example, you don't have to be a part of any company. However, it will give you an advantage. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. I'm saying it is not a necessity to get you this understanding that you need to part of this company. All you need is that you should be solution oriented. For example, Santosh, you are going and walking into a mall. I'm just giving you an example, and you are standing in queue and it is taking a really long time and thinking about if we automate this process, maybe it could benefit this it might take less time. So you don't need an MBA for it. You need an open thinking about it. So you need to be a visionary about it. Yes, if you are doing an MBA, it will give you some technical knowledge that would, of course, enhance you. But if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to become a businessman, you don't need an MBA. A businessman hires people who have MBA, who do these jobs for him or her. So this is how it is. So yes, also now there are so many online resources where you can teach yourself. You learn skills. It's all about learning skills. It's not about getting a degree, whether it's an MBA. Well, right now maybe there are many companies who are requiring these masters and bachelors. This will change in future. If you ask me about the future, I'll tell you this will change in future for sure. And if you ask me what kind of person I would like to hire, well, I would like to hire a very good character. A character is inborn. Skills could be taught. They could be trained. Okay, I can train them, teach them. Okay, they will learn with time. But
Yeah,
if you're a person of a bad character, you are uneducated. I cannot train you. So
yeah.
that kind of person. So
Mm.
this is how it is. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Okay. So, okay, fine then. No, people
Santosh,
when
can you
they,
hear me?
I think we have some network issue kind of a thing. Okay, fine. I think now it's fine. So, when people try to get into some company, so what kind of mindset that they require? Like, how for a fresher maybe who doesn't have an exposure towards company or
I have
who haven't exposure,
questions from students. Hmm.
so haven't got
Okay,
exposure to
so
that.
so
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
okay, so let's say you are. I'll give you an example. Let's say you are in ML. I know I am not. I'm not being traditional right now. I've been speaking a lot of non-traditional stuff. So a traditional thing is okay. You get yourself graduated, you get a good job, and you have a pretty good life. This is it works like that. It may work for many people.
Yeah,
But it is not necessary for you to get settled down. For example, you learned soft skills in any university, right? You have these few languages.
yeah,
For example, you have got a good grasp of. Now,
mm,
all you need to do is you need to be self-aware. You need to read. You need to see what is happening in the world. Where the world is leading. Okay, you just need to think out of the box. That's what you need. Okay. So, for example, you went outside and you said okay, the government system could be really improved. If I miss this code stuff, you will just do this trial and error stuff with it, and you will fail like 100 times. But after that, there will be a day you will eventually you will succeed, and
yeah,
that will be your learning process. Even if you fail, that will be your learning process. So you
yeah,
learn while doing by doing a job, or you learn by doing your own stuff, by doing mistake, by doing trial and error. Okay, this is what I'm doing. You will meet new people. Okay, another thing is you go and you meet people Like you go and sit amongst the entrepreneurs, you go and sit amongst the business minded people, and among the students who think big. They will change your thinking, and they will also shape your career. For example, how did I get into this? I tell you, I was thinking about this, these processes that we are doing while doing a job. These could be improved
yeah,
if there's a lot. If we can have a more efficiency. I was not a tech person, but I knew this thing. Okay, this if this is automated, I didn't know how it will automate, but I knew if this is automated, this might be. Now I don't have to go into an organization which has automated systems to learn how it goes. Right. All I need is a vision.
yeah,
So this sounds pretty cheesy, I know, but I'm telling you, all you need is a personal development. Even if you're graduating from a university, if you need to study yourself, it's all your self-belief,
yeah.
your personal development, and your will and your patience that will lead you to the success or to the business. And you don't need any technical knowledge. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, that's great. So when people try to start their career, do you suggest them to start as a startup, or then or down the line like 10 years understanding the world and how the business works, and then having a startup or doing some entrepreneur work will benefit, or starting at the earlier stage in the career will benefit? So there are a lot of times when people do some kind of innovation, they fail at doing it and they start it, and then after 2 years or so they drop it down. and do you think that that is the right way to go, or having some 10 years or 15 years maybe an experience and having the knowledge on about the world, about the business that they do, and then how kind of startup or do some innovation? So how it will work? Oh,
Both ways would work. Both ways would work. I'll be honest with
okay,
you. It depends upon how you approach your goal. Both ways would work.
okay,
For example, I tell you this: Thomas Edison was told that he was stupid. He's too stupid to learn anything, and he invented electricity. And he didn't go
yeah,
to any research lab or the stuff. He had this vision. He had trial and error. In order to invent or innovate something, you do not need a year's experience. However, if you have a years of experience field, you can still can innovate. For example, the owner of KFC, he got his first shot at the age of 85. He failed at every
uh,
single stuff. He failed at every job, but at the
okay.
age of 85, he became a billionaire. So it works either way.
Okay, it's obvious then it is pretty much it. When you take up an entrepreneur career, it is really hard when you start like an entrepreneur, and when it is starting off your career, you have to handle your finance. So that is the main thing that many tech entrepreneurs think. When you are at the beginning of your career, you don't have money in your bank account, you cannot spend lavishly, cannot spend on people, and when starting off, it is pretty difficult to kind of get the finance going, right, going into the system. So how to handle those finance kind of problem that a tech entrepreneur, when it is in starting stage, initial stage maybe?
Okay. So you are starting it. So the first
No.
thing that you need to keep in mind. So okay, I don't have to worry about finances. I have to worry about how do I innovate? How do I get this idea? How do I get this live idea into the market? Okay. So first you work on that. When you will work on it, you will stop worrying about the finances. Okay. When the time of finances will come, then you'll see. Now I'll tell you what we'll do about finances. For example, you have this idea, you worked years on it, and you still don't have any money, right? So you prepare a solid business plan. Okay. For example, you go to Mukesh Ambani. Okay, so I have this idea which can change lives. And okay, you have to be convincing. Your negotiation
Yeah,
skills have to be your well. You don't need negotiation skills if your idea is good. So you
yeah,
go to Mukesh Ambani, for example, and he sees your idea. Okay, this kid has done a pretty good job, and it will change lives. Okay, many you see many entrepreneurs in India. They have shaped their career like that. So that is it. You'll get an investor, and you get finances, and you get along with it. You need a good business plan. So this is, for example, what does that business plan have? It will have the strength, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities of your whole idea. how you will do business, what are your ideas, what is the unique selling point, what are you going to do that your competitors are not doing, what is
yeah,
unique about you. You will all write down in your business plan, and when you go to an investor, you know, finding an investor is not an easy stuff, but it's also not difficult. You go and you do all that effort, and when you present yourself, you have this charming personality, and your idea will speak for yourself. Now I'll share you one very interesting story about the Lion King. Have you seen the Lion King movie? So
ah,
it's like one of
a
the best
little,
animated
a
movies
little,
uh, made so far, right? So
yeah,
the makers of Lion King, they went to this Disney, and they proposed an idea about this movie, and they got rejected. They got rejected from
yeah,
everywhere. So now they got stuck what to do. Now, have you heard about the Shakespeare's drama Hamlet?
yeah,
It is
yeah,
very famous drama. Even the movie of Shahid Kapoor, what was it, The Heather? It was based on that particular story. So Lion King has same plot, same thing. So what happened when these owners of makers of script of Lion King went to the Disneyland, and they had this unique idea. They approached it differently. They did not show them that it is an adaptation of Hamlet. So
mm,
it was they thought it was a naive idea. Oh no, this is original. No, this will not work. So this is one thing. If you are doing something different, people will go against you. Change, one change is inevitable. Two, people will not accept change that easily. So what they did, what those makers of Lion King did, they said, okay, let us shape our script in a way that we tell them, okay, this is an adaptation of Hamlet. And then when they went again, and they were like, oh, this is an adaptation of Hamlet. Oh, Hamlet is a wonderful, it's so famous drama. Okay, it's got accepted. So this is how it works. Uh, One more, say there is a technology called Segway. There are hovers, moving hovers. People standing on it, and they are moving like that. Have you seen those?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
it's called technology. This technology came 10 years, like 15, 20 years ago. And
yeah,
Steve Jobs, the owner of Second Technology, went to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was such a visionary man. Uh, Even then, he was like, no, oh man, this technology will replace cars. But now, it is a big failure. It doesn't come. It's just kids, playing with it and all this stuff.
yeah,
So Steve Jobs had immense amount of, what you can say, positivity or optimism about this technology.
yeah,
It didn't go well because it was
mm,
different. Now that idea, it doesn't mean that idea is a failed idea. It might does not have the right time. Maybe in future you will see more of the robots coming. People, maybe you see it replacing cars, but in the coming future, not right now. So there is also a time for any idea and technology. The right time will get you the right stuff. So you also need a bit of luck about it. And I think it's merely is more of a vision that you need. That's it. I think there's nothing more than that.
So I have been to a pitching conference where there are a lot of people that they were pitching, but many people lack the business plan. So what is their revenue will be in 10 years or 5 years? They have a plan for 5 years. I mean, not more than that. The investors ask them like, what is the business model of maybe this whether
Exactly.
there are competitors for the same business model, and there were people like investors who are asking a lot of doubts on the business plan after 10 years. So if I give you a 10 crore or 10 million budget, what you will be doing your next step, what will be your next step, and there were a lot
Exactly.
of they were unable to answer those. So do you
Exactly.
think that having a
That is what
long
I'm
term,
saying. You need to have a vision for it, a long-term goal, where you will take it after 10 years. Okay, I don't care about the next 6 months or the next 2 years. What about next 10 years? This is what is important.
yeah, so that was the one thing
Yeah,
that I was noticing when I went to a pitching conference. So it was really hard for them to pitch, and the investors were keep on asking them a lot of questions on how the money will. They were not from the finance side, so they were bit struggling on what a finance looks like and how the this money model works. And there were like a lot of troubles for them to. They had the technology, they had the vision of doing things, but they lacked the idea of finance and managing how the money management is a difficult task for those kind of people. So we'll close with the last question. So is doing MS in abroad worth for the coming days? So we have
Is a question from the student.
yeah, yeah.
Can you repeat it, please?
So is doing MS like a master's in science and doing anything in abroad like UAE maybe, or in US, UK, or Finland or something. In the future days, is it worth it, or how
So
is it?
MS in what? That has to be the question. MS in business, MS in data science, MS in AI. So it depends upon that. So
Okay.
if you're talking about MS in, let's say, business, yes, there are pretty good schools for it. There's Stanford, Harvard. There is
Yeah.
also IE Business School in Spain. There's also UK. You can find plenty of London Business School. Also, there's London School of Economics. They all are very good schools. Definitely, you should go for the masters. However, if you're not able to do that, you can still do your masters in India, and you can still get yourself at the position where you want to be. It all depends upon you. You know how you develop yourself. It's just university will not teach you anything. It is just a platform. You have your own
Yeah.
responsibility to teach your skills. Now everything is online. You type everything on YouTube. There's Coursera, there's Udacity, there's Udemy. So many courses.
Yeah.
There's Khan Academy from India. He's a wonderful guy. I really like his
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So you don't need to go to any Stanford or all this stuff. You need to learn skills. Yes, if you want to go to MS, it's not a bad idea. Go abroad.
Yeah, fine then. So I hope that answers his question. So I think we are ahead of time. So we'll wrap things up. So any final thoughts for our students to follow, like maybe in the future, since this COVID is making a big trouble in the education system, and there are a lot of classes going on online. And what kind of suggestions that you give to our students? So that is a final thought, and we will close.
I'll give final thought, but I will also appreciate if you take some questions from the students. If they have some questions. So I want you to answer that to them. I want everybody
Yeah.
to satisfied from the session. So that's one thing.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll speak on it. And meanwhile, if you are having getting any questions, so do
Yeah. Sure.
bring those on me. Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Sure.
final thought would be okay. So I've been telling a lot about business, all this stuff, and whether you want to do a master's or you want to learn some skills. So I earlier I talked about this new economy known as the skill economy. I'll briefly touch upon it. Now, as you know that we are living the era where global warming has been a real big threat, and countries like subcontinent India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or some African countries, they are already lagging behind the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So now the global warming will have opportunities as well. What opportunities it will have? It will have new technology. There's immense amount of investment have been done in the green technology or the sustainable or renewable energies.
Yeah.
For example, solar power or wind energy. Producing electricity with less wastage and more efficiency. So estimately, there are millions of jobs will be introduced in this field. So if you are, for example, what engineer or a business minded person or an MBA, you can look into these industries. In the near future you might get good jobs over here. On the other hand, I was talking about the skill economy. So what does the skill economy has? There are a few specialized skills that will be very high in demand in the future. One of them will be public speaking.
Yeah.
Organizations would be needing people, who could portray their ideas to the public, who could speak well. Okay, this is the vision of our organization, and this is what we're trying to do, so that they get more customers. Number two, coding. Now AI has been making immense amount of advancements in the field of medicine, engineering, social media, all this stuff. So coders would have, great luck in the future. Now, for the doctors, I know the doctors are not in this session. For the doctors, even having a basic knowledge or fundamental knowledge of AI is an additive advantage now. You doctors are getting into this AI stuff because AI has been making so much advancements in this field of medicine. Uh, and yes, digital marketing. Digital marketing would be really because of the social media. Digital marketing would be high in demand. And there
yeah,
are I'll tell you, and there's one more thing now, because we are in this time of pandemic.
yeah, yeah,
People are losing jobs. It's not just people
yeah,
losing jobs, businesses are going bankrupted. So
yeah,
now when a business is as a businessman, okay, I'll tell you, if I'm I don't have enough revenues left to leave people out. Uh, it is unethical, it is unethical, but they are reducing costs. Now they are reducing cost. And what does that mean? It means that rather than hiring two people, they will hiring one person. Okay, so for example, I'll tell you, you go into any software house right now, and there are separate people who are doing search engine optimization, and the other person is doing web development. Now, if you're a web developer and you know the knowledge of SEO, and if you're an SEO and you know the knowledge of web development, then you have in the future. And
no,
on this is for fresh graduates, right? Let us come to the people who are experienced. Okay, let's say you are ML engineer, right? And you have been for the past 10 years. You have done similar thing. There's no diversity
no,
in your portfolio.
yeah,
So in the future, that will be a big harm for you. So what you should do is spend about 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 years max 5 years in any company. Learn, you move on. Then have a 5 years of experience in another company. You learn, you move on. Then you have 5 years of experience. Now you have 15 years of experience on three different type of projects. Now when you are going to a job, applying for a job, your CV will be highly reputed. Now there are few arguments. Some people say, you need to be specialized, and you don't have to. If you're a jack of all, you are specialized none. So it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it works that you have a specialized skill. Sometimes it works that you have all these skills. Now it depends upon the industry, what kind of industry you're going to. But overall, I believe a diversification is very important. And this is, I think, it is. If there's any questions, feel free
so
to
we
ask.
have one final question. So,
Okay.
tips on building leadership. So that is the question that we have. So with that, we will, close this talk
Okay.
show.
So, tips on building leadership, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Tip number one: you have to be compassionate. You have to have kindness in your heart. You need to love people. Okay. So, a leader, you should not blame anything to others. A leader takes everything on himself. Never blames.
yeah,
Even if his team is, has an horrible job, a leader would go and take all beating on himself. So this is the fundamental. This is the what you have to build in your character. So if you have this in your heart and in your character, then you can become a leader.
okay.
Now, if you are very what other yes, one more tip, that one more skill that you need is to have a patience. A leader needs to have a patience. You need to have a patience in order to lead people. And then also you need to have the understanding. Okay, now, for example, I know the strengths of Santosh. Okay, I know how I can use this guy. Many people, they do not know their own talent. They do not recognize their own skills. So what is the job of the leader? He picks those people. Okay, I think you can do this job. I think you can do this job
Yeah,
pretty well. I think you can do this job pretty well. And when all these people, they do some job, collectively, it brings a very good product. So it's about recognizing the talent in people. It's about patience. It's about compassion. It's about empathy. It's all you need for the leadership.
Yeah, I hope that kind of wraps up everything. A leader should be compassion and have some patience as well. So he has to mingle with people and love them, understand them completely, and observe their actions and go ahead and do the job that they require. So I think that gave a lot of insight on leadership. And thanks a lot for joining us today with us and giving insightful talk on the business aspect of there are a lot of students who are a bit kind of degraded or having some less amount of knowledge on business aspects. So that gave a brief interview of overview of what a business looks like. And thanks a lot for joining in today. So thanks a lot, guys, for viewing our talk show. And if you have any comments, feedbacks, please post that in the comment section so that we'll be rectifying those in the next upcoming talk shows. Thanks, guys. Again, have a great day. Bye bye.
It's my pleasure. It was also my pleasure, and would love to have one more talk, on business
Yeah,
if you want to have in the future. So thank you so
yeah.
much
So
for
maybe
having me.
yeah,
I'm able to motivate few students. I hope, and also they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. If they have any
yeah,
queries, and
yeah. So
I will be very happy to help everybody. If somebody
yeah,
is trying to establish their own business, and they want some advice, or they want to
yeah,
know how do you get your processes streamlined or efficient, they can ask me. Feel free to send me follow me on the LinkedIn, and send me a message. So I will reply. I reply to everybody. So just want to
yeah.
let everybody know. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for the helping hand. So, take care, guys. Bye bye. See you on the next talk show. We have the talk show running every week on Sundays. So, stay tuned. Bye bye. Take care.